Let me share something to you about mistakes. Mistakes. It's a part of life. But what you should do is to learn from your mistakes. Don't get up and make mistakes every day. You should try to limit that. Try to limit yourself from making mistakes. Think things through. That's how you limit having to make too many mistakes. If you make a mistake, don't let it happen again. Don't let it happen twice. If you make a mistake and it happens more than once, that means you're not learning. You're not learning. So make a mistake once, never make it happen again. That's the thing about mistakes. I can say this. I've made mistakes in my life, but I never let it happen again. For me, I know this for sure. I never make things happen to me more than once because I have learned from it and I know now not to do it again. So mistakes are something that you are. Math. Some students don't like math. You do some addition, you get it wrong. You get it wrong the first time. Make a mistake. You learn from the mistake and you don't make it that mistake again. That's the thing with mistakes. You learn from it and you don't make the mistake again. All right. School. Go to school every day for 5 years or 6. And you think you have made, when you leave school, you don't get the subjects you want. You're looking at yourself saying that you wasted your time, blah, 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 blah. You go to do it a second time. You go to school, you go back to school, do it a second time. Make the same mistake again. Didn't get the subjects that you want. You go a third time, make the same mistake again. Or you just give up. Let me say this. Yes, you make mistakes more than once. Mistakes are not to made more than once. It's something that you made once and not to do again. That's what it definitely, that's what it generally means. You make a mistake once, don't let it happen again. Because you go to school, you didn't get the amount of subject you want. You go back, you didn't get it. Go back, you didn't get it. That means you haven't sit down, analyze your mistake, and realize that this is what I am doing wrong and I need to change it. That's basically it. It's that simple. It's it's that simple. That's what you must sit down with mistakes. You sit down, analyze it, and say to yourself that I am not going to make this happen to me again. That's what mistake is really and basically about. That's what it is basically about. People will say sit down and make a lot of mistakes. But when you don't learn from your mistakes, then life itself is just gonna carry you away. You're not going to 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 evolve and to be a better person while going through life with mistakes, because it is something that is very so this thing that it happens in life. It's life. People make mistakes a lot. But what they should do is, as I said, analyze it, learn from it, don't make that same mistake again. And I have no 99.999% or 100% of people in this world. Nobody's perfect. As the saying goes, nobody is perfect. But you limit having to make mistakes more than once. That's a true factor of mistakes. You limit yourself from making that mistake more than once. All right, let's say, why would you want to make mistake more than once? Why would you want to do that mistake another time? Do you think? Hmm, I within myself do not feel happy if I let a mistake happen to me more than once, because what that is saying to me is that I have not analyzed the mistake that I have made and tried to learn something from the mistake to not make that mistake happen again. That's just the reality of it. I have not sit down to sit down and ask myself, what did I do made me make that mistake? And then you say to yourself, all right, don't make that mistake again. That's all it boils down to. It's that simple. But these people nowadays, they don't accept that they're making a mistake. Some people think or do things without even thinking. That's why, as a man, you listen more than you speak. Because if you generate that notion of saying, all right, listen before you speak, you will make less mistakes. And if you think about doing something and think about it before you do it, you'll also make less mistakes. That's the thing. Mistakes happen when we don't sit down and really think about what we're doing and how we're doing it. That's how mistakes are generated. But some of the times it is good that it happens and you don't do it a second time. So mistakes are something that happens. It's supposed to happen once, not twice, not a third, not three times. Once. You're supposed to make that shit comes and goes. Not more than one. Not more than once. Just make that mistake and let it happen one time. Make it happen again. That's why parents will say to your children, if you made a mistake as a child, you're young, 5 year old do something, parents say to you, don't let it happen again. And you are a 5 year old, go through 1 year and come out to the next. And you do that shit again. It happens to you again. Your parents give you a beating. The reason why they beat you is because they told you the first time and they said to you, do not let it happen again. What you did, you let it happen again. So they give you a spanking. And the reason why you get a beating is because you did not learn the first time that is something that you must not make happen again. So they're trying to drill it in your brain and give you a beating so you cannot make the same mistakes again. I've learned that from my experience. I made a lot of mistakes when I was very young. I was inquisitive. I was a troublesome when I was young. Give a lot of trouble. But in a case where I usually do a lot of dumb things. With age, you know what is right from what is wrong, what not to do and what not, what to do and what not to do. With age, it does carry a different level of experience. Yeah, a different level of experience to you about life, what is right and what is wrong. Age. And when I was growing up, I did a lot of dumb shit. I never learned from it, so I usually get beaten a lot because I just didn't care. I was just doing it because your brain is doesn't reach a point where it understands that you must not make that same mistake more than once. You're very young. You don't even pass 10. But you're going to do that shit again because that's how you learn. When you're young, kids going to make a lot of mistakes. But I mean, you tell a child not to do that shit again and they do it again. You beat them, they do it again. At some point, it's going to be drilled into their mind that if I do this, that is what is going to happen. And with us young men and men out there, what you should do is say to yourself, think about it. If I do this, this is what is going to happen. This is the consequence that I'm going to face if I do this. And then you sit down and look into it and say, all right, don't do it. But some man, as I said, you don't think before you do things. You just act. You don't think. You just let things happen. That's not how you approach life. Because in life, it's either death or you live. And you're going to make a mistake that is going to take your life. It's not like a game. You die and come back. Life is it's one life you have to live, and you have to live it without making mistakes that will cost you your life. Don't be that type of kid that you're in. You have grown up in a good home, and I mean sometimes it's not the home that grows the children, it's the environment, and I've seen that happen multiple times. It's not something. I mean, the parents can do something about it. Is to not let their child go outside, but that in that case, you're very young. You want to explore. You're not going to want to stay inside. You want to go outside and play and do all manner of kind of things. You don't want to stay inside. Because staying inside is going to be boring to you. And people are going to look at you and say you don't have any friends, you're this and that. You're going to call you names. It's gonna be a label, it's gonna stick to you. Some of the times when your parents do live in a bad environment, sometimes it's very hard to grow your child because you're growing your child in such a good home that the environment is doing something different to them. I mean, that's why nowadays you have to be careful what you're doing and to not go out there and have kids all over the place because you're going to reap the consequences of that child when he grows up. And you're going to say to yourself, "Damn, that's a child I have. Look at that." It's going to reach it's going to reach a point where you can't even do nothing about it, nothing, and you're going to be ashamed of what you did and of the child that has grown on you. You're going to be ashamed of it. And there's nothing you can do about it because you have made that mistake. I mean, there are some mistakes in life that are not to be made. As I said, people act without even thinking. So in that case, you're gonna have a pregnant woman, impregnate a woman, and she lives in a bad environment. That child is going to grow in that environment and become worse than what you think their mother is trying to grow them into be something good. They're going to grow so different that it is going to surprise you. And why sometimes you should not be surprised is you made that mistake and you said to yourself that you're going to impregnate this woman. I mean, you go out there, you have sex with a woman and shit happens. You have the choice to go out there and to say to yourself and to say to your woman that we're not going to grow our child in this environment. Move from that environment and go to somewhere. I mean, nowhere is safe. But yeah, some places that are better than and some place. I mean, you can find somewhere that is better than probably where you were. I mean, as I said, nowhere is safe. Nowhere. But yeah, some places better than some places. I mean, you can find a better place. You can. It's not hard. Just go out there and look. That's it. That's all it takes. Just go out there and look. And you will find something that is better for you and your child. And as I said, with mistakes, I'm going off topic. But let me go back. Mistakes are not to be made more than once, or mistakes are not to be made without thinking, without action. Mistakes are something that you learn from. Those are the three aspects of mistakes. Some mistakes you can avoid from making. Some mistakes you learn. Some mistakes you don't make happen more than once. And that's just the brief aspect of it. And that's all I have to give you a little advice on our mistakes is to be dealt with.